Hello everybody. Welcome to today's 3-card pick or 3-pile pick, whatever you want to call it. So today's theme is going to be about friendship. Maybe you have a question in mind. Maybe you're just looking for some guidance. Whatever the case may be, I hope you enjoyed this reading. Before we get started, please take a moment to subscribe if you would like to get more fantastic, amazing content from me. And don't forget to check me out on Instagram at Onyx Healing, where there's even more fantastic, amazing, wonderful content. And as always, if you need to work with me one-on-one, you're more than welcome to book a session. All of the links to work with me or get my meditations and all of that stuff is in the description box. So without further ado, I am going to lay these cards out and then we will get started. Okay, so if you need more time to pick your pile, you're more than welcome to take a moment, pause the video, whatever you need to do, formulate your question, whatever it is you've got going on. But I'm going to go ahead and read the first pile here. So if you picked the first one, we have the Empress. Focus on receiving. So friendships are going to be a little bit more... they're going to come in a little bit easier if you set your intention and hold space for them to arrive. So rather than pushing out, you want to call things in. This is a very feminine approach to friendship. And what I mean by that is you're focusing on being the space holder and receiving things rather than hunting, which is the masculine form of manifestation or calling things in. So it seems more like a passive approach in the sense that you don't want to stare directly at it, but if you're looking for friendships or solutions or clarity, maybe take the approach of doing things that feel good to you or putting yourself in environments and situations that feel really in alignment with who you are and how far you've come and what this version of yourself really wants to step into. So that's going to be kind of the path to friendship success, if that makes sense, or to calling in more friendships or healing and repairing friendships that you have currently. It's all about being the space holder and stepping into the energy of whatever you want to receive. And then we also have the Two of Swords. So you're not going to know what the outcome is until you try. You just have to kind of take a stab at it. Like hold space, set your intention for who you want to come into that space or what your ideal resolution looks like. Step forward in a way that really makes sense for you. But don't put so much pressure on the outcome that it suffocates the situation. That's kind of a misstep. So just keep that in mind. It's okay to hold space, but don't hold on so tightly that it, bursts into smithereens. Okay, now pile number 2, we have the Wheel of Fortune. I think this is kind of a lack of intention. So maybe you're just not really asking for anything or not inviting anything. I think the first place that I would go when I see the Wheel of Fortune, because this does reflect so much unpredictability, the immediate place that I want to go is like, well, pick one. Why don't you kind of narrow down whatever it is that you're asking for rather than just kind of throwing your hands up and saying whatever I get is whatever I get. You can be more specific around who you want to appear and what quality of friendships you want in your space. Let's see what else we've got going on. We have the Three of Swords. So maybe there's just kind of an attitude of, I don't want to deal with this, or maybe there's a friendship that you're asking about specifically where you're just like, you know what, forget about it, never mind, I don't want anything to do with it. So the Three of Swords is grief energy, and I see this as just being something that's totally at your discretion. It's not right or wrong. It's just don't throw in the towel on connection or friendships altogether, even if you have some friendships that are maybe falling away from your life or becoming less significant, or if you just feel defeated by the prospect of getting friends or making friends or anything like that. I think it has to do with intention. Like, what are you actually doing to foster those relationships, or have you just kind of written it off completely? Because that could just be a self-fulfilling prophecy. I've been hurt in the past, or I don't really think that people have my back, therefore I'm not going to try. And you're already setting yourself up for failure if you start off that way. So just consider, what are you asking for? What is your intention that you're setting? Are you asking for anything, or just throwing your hands up and saying whatever? So as soon as you kind of figure out what's really going on when it comes to your emotions regarding friendships, as well as what you're asking for, you're going to get a lot of clarity. All right, and then the third pile, we have the Five of Swords. This is kind of like the battle is over, or the struggle is over. This may or may not be with a specific person. Perhaps there is someone you're asking about when it comes to this. Otherwise, maybe you felt like friendships in particular were kind of sticky or challenging or difficult. And I'm seeing this as resolution to that. So it's kind of like things are going to be smoothing out. Because this is the end of a struggle. It's not the beginning. It's not the middle of a struggle. It's the end. It's the last straw. So expect resolution if you got this card, or expect things to get easier with this card. The Five of Swords is really relieving in that way, that it's not an indication that things are going to get harder and harder and harder and more challenging. It's saying, no, it doesn't need to be as difficult as it has been in the past. But remember, a large part of what's going to determine whether or not you're perceiving it that way is all about how you're thinking about it and what perception you have around that friendship or relationship. And then we have the Page of Swords. Explore your thoughts in this situation. It's not going to be enough to just say, okay, moving on. There also has to be an intention around how you're moving forward in friendships in the future, right? So if you walk away from a situation and you just kind of dust your hands off and leave it, that's okay, but just remember that you're still going to have to fine-tune the way you're thinking about friendship and the way you're perceiving friendship in the future. So it's not something that you can just abandon completely. You need to make sure that you're refining how you're thinking, what you're thinking about, all of that stuff when it comes to friendships and those relationships that might be closest to you. So while things are getting easier, you're still going to have to do the mental work around your perception of friendships, or even how you're finding friends. Do you keep fishing in the same pool for the same type of friends? Are you ready to level up in your friendships? Do you need to look elsewhere for the people that are going to be closest to you or are potential friends? So consider where you're kind of fishing or mingling or whatever, and then also how you're perceiving things and moving forward, how you're going to be receptive to friendships, or if it's something you're just trying to avoid. So keep all of that in mind, because it's multifaceted. All right, everybody, that's all that I have for you today. I hope you've enjoyed this reading. Don't forget to like this video and send it to somebody if you feel like they could use these messages. And until next time, have a good week, everybody. Don't forget, if you need to work with me, I'm available. Check out the description box, as well as if you want to know which decks I use, they're listed in the description box. And I will talk to you later. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.